Welcome back. As a part of this video, we'll understand column data profiling. Okay, we are trying to understand the column data profiling as a part of the big data testing, as a part of the data completeness. So, what is column data profiling? What exactly is a column data profiling? Column data profiling is the process of examining individual columns within the large data sets to see and understand the characteristics or patterns and the quality of the data that exists in those columns. As a part of the column data profiling, we'll understand what are the data types in that particular column. How is the distribution of the data? Are there any missing values? Are there any outliers? And is there any different pattern emerging by analyzing this data? Are there any patterns across the vast volumes of the data? By looking at the profile of a column, in a way, we'll understand what is the quality of the data. In column data profiling, we'll compare the source and target data without actually comparing the entire data. What do we do then? What we'll do is we'll create the logical sets or subgroups from the whole data set and reduce the number of records from the bigger group and then do a comparison between the source and target. Then the question would be, why do we really need to do only the comparison of the subgroups or a logical sets? It is because when you are trying to understand the data as a whole, you would potentially have billions of records. So you will not be able to go and check each and every record. That is where through column data profiling, we will understand the pattern, we'll get to know the quality of the data. So it is essential for us to do the column data profiling when we are testing the large amounts of data. Column data profiling involves four important aspects. One is data type analysis. The second one is value distribution. The third one is null and missing value assessment. The last one is statistical summary. Let us look at them one by one. As a part of the data type analysis, as the name suggests, in the data type analysis, we'll analyze the data types. We'll evaluate whether the values in each column conform to the expected data types as per the mapping document. Means in your mapping document, it is a particular column is suggested as integer. Do you have that particular column as an integer? Do you have a particular column as a string? So if there are any inconsistencies between whatever you are finding out as compared to the requirement document or mapping document, you will flag that. Value distribution is one of the important aspects of the column data profiling. What will we do as a part of the value distribution? We would analyze how many number of times a particular value is repeated. Means, are there any unique values? What is the range between the values in a particular column? For example, you have some 2000 as the highest value and you have 1 as a lowest value. The range is 1999, right? So like that, we'll identify what is the range. Are there any outliers? Okay. So you have a column where you have some 1000 values. Within that, one value is around $10 million. But all other values are in the average of $1,000. Then it is an outlier. So as a part of the value distribution, we'll analyze the frequency of unique values. We'll understand the patterns. We'll see what are the ranges and we'll try to look for any outliers in the data. And when you have a data, can you have a data without null values and missing values? Most of the data would have null and missing values. Okay. So as a part of column data profiling, we'll understand how many null values are there, how many missing values are there as compared to the whole data set. This will help us to determine the data completeness and identify the areas that require cleansing and also additional data collection. Means if there are any missing values, we need to know how to fill them up, right? For that, we'll also know what would be the effort for a additional data collection. The last one is statistical summary. As a part of the column profiling, it generates the statistics like mean of the data, median of the data, standard deviation of the data, range of the data. By analyzing the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, we'll understand the overall distribution and also central tendency of the data within that column. For an example here, let us say you have an employee table, right? You have an employee table with different columns. What we can do is, if you go ahead and profile the results on a whole table, you have overall 11 records are there. Number of unique values here, considering all the columns, is 11. And number of blanks is 3. In this case, you have 3 here, right? And sum of the salary would be some 477K. Like this, you will understand this table at a high level. That will help you to understand the overall quality of a data. Wonderful then. We understood data profiling as a part of this lecture. Thank you.